What's going on, guys? We are back. Today we are going to be discussing the recently released movie Longlegs. Now, recently this year, what I will say is the scary movie category has been lacking. So I've mentioned it before. I just posted a video about Abigail. Abigail is now available on Peacock. And I mentioned in that video that that was probably one of the better, scarier movies of the year. Not necessarily scarier, but it fits the category of what a horror movie should be, even though I believe it could have been a little bit scarier. Now, with Longlegs, I still am comparing the category to movies like The First Omen, Immaculate, Imaginary, Strangers Chapter 1, and In Violent in Nature. Those are movies that I'm looking at when it comes to this category. Now, with Longlegs, I will say, if you have seen the trailer, you pretty much have seen what the movie is. The one thing that I was interested in seeing in the film was really the development of the attacks, which it did show that. However, the one thing that really kind of stuck in my mind is in the trailer saying that this is the scariest movie of the decade. Now, this is where, when I'm looking at trailers and I'm reading about what the movies are going to be about, I am very cautious, because when you see scariest movie of, usually the movie does not live up to the hype. Now, obviously in this film, it is an FBI is tracking a serial killer. You see the work of the FBI, you see the murders that have been committed, and ultimately it is a decent overall film. Now, when looking at this film, I asked a couple people at the Regal that I go to we always talk about current releases and everything that are out. And the one thing that the two people I talked to mentioned was they felt the movie was a little disappointing. So one person kind of agreed with what I said when I mentioned that the film, if you've seen the trailer, you pretty much have seen the movie. And so what I really am becoming irritated with in this category of film is you're being persuaded that a movie is going to be X, Y, or Z, but it never lives up to that hype. Obviously, that is what a trailer is for. That's what ads are for. That's what the whole buildup is for you to be able to think that you're going to see something that may or may not be there. And in Longlegs, I will say it was not all there. Now, when I'm looking at this film, for me, overall rating, I give it about a 2.8 out of 5. It just did not live up to what I expected. Now, seeing as many movies as I have, I've officially seen 142 movies this year. That includes repeats, and that also includes 104 different movies. So I've seen 104 total movies, but 140 something, I believe the number was in the 140s of actual movies, including those repeats, for the year. And so what I really have been able to take away from my unlimited plan is movies are starting to slack a little bit. So I mentioned in a video earlier that when you see a rating of a PG-13 for a movie, you know it's not going to live up to a scary hype. And even with rated R, like with Longlegs, it still did not. It just fell short. I felt that it could have been done a little bit differently. Obviously, I'm just kind of giving my opinion. So I can't really state what could have been done or how I wish it should have been done, because in my opinion, if I mention that, somebody's going to get upset with it. But also, it really would depend on what the overall end game of the film is. Now, with this, obviously, it will end, but you never know anymore if there's going to be a second movie or even a third. And so, with that, I really don't want to speculate on where I think this movie could go. With Longlegs, though, the big thing that to keep in mind if you go see it is a movie that is watchable. It is a movie that you'll be able to sit through and still get enjoyment out of, and still have specific parts where you are seeing kind of the scariness of it. But I don't want you to go in thinking that it's going to be something where you're going to be jump scared all the time, or you're going to be on the edge of your seat. There wasn't many scenes in that, and the reviews are kind of mixed. I've seen reviews at a 6 out of 10. I've seen reviews where it's in the 89%. So the reviews are very mixed, but they still are on that upper echelon. That's where I put the score where I did, because it's still a movie that is watchable, but it is a movie that I would just be cautious if you're going in expecting it to be this all-time thriller. So stay tuned. I do have another review that I will post tomorrow of a film I will go see. Obviously next week we have some big movies coming out, and then even the following week we do as well. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe. If you've seen Longlegs, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.